Okay, so where were we? Multi-threading, architectural neutral. You was asking, no, Nandini, yesterday. So, architectural neutral means nothing but in the name itself it is there. Without showing any partiality, it will not depend on the architecture of the computer. Okay, without depending upon the architecture, it will neutral. It will see as a neutral for every computer. Okay, it will treat every computer as neutral. Okay, that means what? No partiality. Okay, sometimes you feel no in the class ma'am is showing partiality, she's not like neutral. So same like that here also, it will Java will not show any partiality on the computer's architecture. Okay, without showing anything like that, neutrally it will behave. Okay, an application is said to be architecture neutral if and only if the application runs on every processor without considering their architecture and vendors. Okay, without considering their architectures and vendors, if it is if the Java application can run on any processor, on every processor, then it can be treated as architecture neutral. Okay, then languages like C++ are considered as architectural dependent because the above properties not satisfied. Okay, C and CPP are treated as architectural dependent. Okay, it is not architectural neutral, it is dependent. Okay, but Java is not like that. It is architectural neutral, it will not depend on the architecture of the computers. Okay, portable, already we have seen no yesterday. Portability means a portable application is one which runs on every operating system and every processor. Okay, so different kinds of operating systems are there in our computers. All of you know that. Okay, so without depending on the operating system, if it is running on the every processor and operating system, then it is known as portable. Okay, a application should run on every operating system and every processor without considering their vendor and architectures. Without considering the architectures of the operating system and processor, it should run on the every operating system. Then it can be treated as portable. Okay. So one more point is there. All the Java applications are treated as portable applications. Means it will run on every processor and operating system. According to Sun Microsystems, portability is equal to platform independent plus architectural neutral. If we are combining both the things, what are the platform independent and also architectural neutral, then it can be known as portability. Okay.
Okay.
Multi-threading. It is one of the distinct facility of a Java program. Okay, already I explained this no yesterday. So multi-threading means what? Multi-threading. It is one of the distinct facility of Java program. The basic aim of multi-threading is to achieve concurrent execution. Concurrent execution means nothing but alternatively two parts of the program will be executed. That is concurrent, simultaneously two parts of the program will be executed. That is concurrent execution. A flow of control is thread. Okay, a flow of control from one place to another place, if the control is passing, then it is nothing but it is a thread. The basic use of thread is to execute programmer defined functions. So what is the basic use of this thread? To execute programmer defined functions. Whatever the Functions are defined by the programmer. That functions will be executed by the threads. Okay, if we are using the threads in the program, then it will happen. Okay, if any Java program is containing multiple flows of control, then that Java program is known as multi-threaded. If any Java program is containing multiple flows of control, then that Java program is known as multi-threaded. So if you are using threads concept in the program, in Java program, then multiple flows will be there, because automatically concurrently the two parts of the program will be executed. That is the meaning. Okay. Multi-threading is one of the specialized form of multitasking concept of operating systems. So operating systems concept is there, no, multitasking. What do you mean by multitasking? At a time we can perform different tasks. See here, for example, I can hear the audio from the laptop, and also I can type something in the document. So we are doing two things at a time. Okay, at a time, if you are performing two or more than two tasks, okay, multiple tasks if we are performing at a time, then it will be known as multitasking. So by using multi-threading, we can achieve multitasking. Okay. Then the next feature is distributed. Information is distributed on various computers in a network. So all of you know what is the meaning of network. Okay. So the information will be passed to the various computers in a network. Okay. So network means what? Multiple computers will be connected through a net. Okay. So it can be an intranet or internet. Anything it can be. Okay. So if you are passing the information, if the information is distributed on various computers in a network, then it is known as distributed. Using Java, we can write programs which capture information and distribute it to clients. Client and servers will be there, guys. One server will be there and multiple clients will be there. Okay. So that means nothing but connection between various computers. Okay. So we can write programs which capture the information, and also it will distribute the information from and to the clients. It is nothing but distributed. Okay. Then the next point is high performance. So in the name itself it is there. Java is having high performance. Okay. Java is one of the high performance programming language because of following reasons. Because of bytecode and also because of garbage collector, and Java is free from pointers. All these 3 points we learned already. What is bytecode we know, and about garbage collector also we learned. And Java is free from pointers. It will not support the pointers concept. Okay. Because of these 3 points, Java is high performance programming language. Okay. Then robust. Robust means what? Strong. The meaning is strong. When we write any program in any programming language, we come across various types of errors. Broadly, errors are classified into two types: compile time errors and runtime errors. Compile time errors means what? When we are compiling the program, if we are getting the errors, then that is known as compile time errors. Runtime errors means what? When we are running the program, at that time, if we are getting any errors, then those errors are nothing but runtime errors. Okay. Now, here, compile time errors are those which are resulted during the program compilation. So, generally, if we are making any errors in the syntax, then we will get the compile time errors. Okay. Runtime errors. Runtime errors are those which are resulted during the program execution when the normal users enter invalid input at runtime. So, the users, for example, if you are writing the program and we compiled it and we are running the program, if we are entering the wrong output, the wrong input, okay, input. For example, instead of entering float value, if we are entering only integer value, then we will get the wrong output. So these are nothing but runtime errors. Okay. The Java language is able to address the runtime errors effectively by using a concept called exception handling. So, one concept is there in Java, that is nothing but exception handling. Okay, by using this, Java can handle the runtime errors. Okay, it can handle the runtime errors. Hence, the Java languages related to applications are robust. Robust means strong because it can handle the runtime errors by using exception handling. It is very strong. Okay, dynamic. Java programming does not allow static memory allocation because of its limitations like wastage of memory and loss of data. So static memory means nothing but when we are compiling the program, if the memory will be allocated, okay, for the variables we need memory. Okay, so if the memory will be allocated at the time of compilation time, then it will be known as static memory allocation. Okay, if the memory will be allocated at the time of runtime, that means when we are running the program, if at that time memory will be allocated, then that will be known as dynamic memory allocation. Okay, so Java programming does not allow static memory allocation because of its limitations like wastage of memory and loss of data. For static memory allocation, it is having some limitations. What are that? Wastage of memory and also loss of data. Okay, it always follows dynamic memory allocation. The process of allocating memory space to input of the program at runtime is known as dynamic memory allocation. Okay, if the memory will be allocated at the time of, so dynamically the memory will be allocated for the data in Java. Okay, that is dynamic. Now the next point is interpreted. In Java, interpreter will convert the bytecode into machine language. So Java is interpreted. So what is interpreted? What is interpreted? So interpreter is a one program which will interpret the code. Okay. So in Java, interpreter is there. Interpreter will convert the bytecode into machine language. So Java is interpreter. So the bytecode will be then which will be generated when we will compile the program. That will be interpreted by the interpreter. So Java is interpreter. Okay. That is the meaning. Okay. All of you type present and post it in my chat box. All of you do it now. Type present and post it. All of you gave your attendance, ma?